Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wa mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'd. The Honorable Lecturer, Dr. Andi Kaharuddin S.IP M.Hum and all my beloved friends. First of all, let us pray to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who until now we are still given the blessing of health, of height and health to complete the mid test for the Phonetics and Phonology course. And don't forget to send your salawat and greetings to the great Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the dark world to a bright world. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Riska Febrianti, from Class A, majoring in English Education, Faculty of Tarbiyah and Teacher Training, State Islamic University Alauddin, Makassar. I made this video as a form of completing my mid-semester assignment. It contains material about the first, phonetics as a study of fiction, the second, the benefit of phonetics as a study of English sound, the third, the production of English consonant sounds, manner and place of articulation. Next, the production of English consonant sound, distinctive feature, and the last, phonetic exercise for articulating English consonant sound. I hope that this video can be useful for me and my friends who have watched this video. Okay, let's start with the first material and the first question, namely phonetics as a study of fiction. The question is, what is phonetics? Refer the online dictionary and the theories. Make your own definition. Okay. Regarding the definition of phonetics, I took it from two sources, namely online dictionary and lineage. Well, according to the online dictionary, namely yourdictionary.com, which point out that phonetics is the study of the sound of human speak using the mouth, throat, nasals, sinus cavities, and lungs. And according to Lineage Research 2009 claims that phonetics is the scientific study of speech which concern in the discovery of how speech sounds are produced, how they are used in spoken language, how we can record speech sound with writing symbols, and how we can hear and recognize different sounds. From this to the opinion, but based on online dictionary and language, I can conclude that phonetics is the study of sound in language, namely how speech sounds are produced using the mouth, throat, nasal cavity, sinus, and lungs, and how we can hear and recognize different sounds with the symbol written and defined by linguist expert. Okay, let's move on to the second question. The question is phonetics as a study of fiction. Explain as detailed as possible. Give example as if is necessary. My answer is phonetics as the study of fiction, which is a speech sound that refers to a collection of distinctive sounds produced when people speak a particular language. So, speech sounds are sounds that are spoken in a particular language. In other words, the sound that comes out of person's mouth when speaking represents his spoken language. Example of speech sound can be seen in the word book. This word seems to have three sounds, namely B, U, and K, where B represents the letter B, U represents the letter double O, and K represents the letter K. Let's move on the third question. The question is phonetics as a study of speech organs. Explain as detailed as possible. Give example if necessary. My answer is phonetics as the study of the organs of speech, which is a speech sound that is only produced by the flow of air from the lungs to the mouth. However, to vary the quality of the sound that will be used to communicate ideas in speaking, articulation is needed, namely the movement of the speech organ or articulator. Articulator are speech tools that people use to produce speech sound of a language. They include the lips, teeth, alveolar ridge, hard palate, phlegm or soft palate, uvula, glottis, and various parts of the tongue, edge, tip, middle, and back. One example is the lips, which can produce p and b sounds. The last question from the first material is phonetic as a study of speech production. Explain as detailed as possible. Give example if necessary. Okay, my answer, phonetic as a study of speech production, namely the production of speech sound, which refers to the process of using an articulate to produce sound that start from flowing air provided by the lungs. Then the air pass through the glottis in the larynx, which is then modified by the vocal tract, oral cavity, or vocal cords, apparatus nasal cavity into different sound qualities, namely consonant and vowels. For example, when a person wants to make a sound, he or she must move his lips together and block the flow of air for a moment. After that, he had to release that air pressure suddenly inside his mouth, which made a plosive sound. The place of articulation on this sound is therefore called the bilabial, and the method is called the stop, also known as the plosive. Now, after we understand what the definition of phonetic is, what speech organ are used, and how the speech sound or the types of speech sound, and how the sound is produced, then we will move on the next material, namely the benefit of phonetic as a study of English sound, in which there are three questions. Immediately, the first question is problems is in producing consonant sound. What sound, and give example. Okay, my answer. The results shown from research on the problem of producing consonant sound are that there are several problems faced by English language learners in Indonesia. One of them is about English consonant, which is a difficulty in learning English that occurs due to the fact that some English sounds are not present in the learner mother tongue. And English sounds that are not available in Indonesia tend to make learners produce error in the articulation of sound, and the sound are recognized as problems in producing English sound. One of the problem is about producing the v sound. According to this study, one of the problems faced by Indonesian English learners in producing English sound is to produce sound known as labiodental fricative. This sound is one of the sounds that cannot be found voiced in the Indonesian phonetic system. In an effort to produce this English sound, Indonesian learners tend to make mistakes by replacing them with fa, which is also known as voice labiodental fricative, because the sound fa serves the same place and manner of articulation, namely the labiodental fricative. The difference is only in the state of the vocal cords. Va is a voice sound while fa is a voiceless sound. Okay, let's move on the second question. The question is problem in producing vowel sound. Okay, my answer. Just like consonant, Indonesian English learners also face problems related to the production of vowel sound. In 2013, Riyadi conducts research on the problems of Indonesian language learners in articulating vowels. The results showed that many students had problems in pronouncing short and long English vowels. At least four problems were identified in the production of learners' vowel sound. Namely, the first, learners tend to pronounce English vowels the same way they pronounce short vowels in their mother tongue. The second, learners tend to pronounce the word longer if the word has the same double vowels, although the word shall not be pronounced long. Third, students also tend to say short words if they only have one vowel. For example, the word examine. In English, this word shall be pronounced examine, but students replace the study e with sounds which result in examine. The last question from the second material is the benefit given by phonetics to cope with the problems referred to theories. My answer is following up on the result of the study. The researchers recommend that English learners and teachers whose mother tongue is Indonesian need to be aware of the pronunciation of the six observed English consonant. Therefore, to get a good foundation in English pronunciation, they need to learn the articulation of sound will so that they can make sound properly. Learning the articulation of sound means using phonetics as a valuable tool for improving English pronunciation. Therefore, it's very important to learn phonetics because by studying it, we can find out how a sound is produced and how to pronounce the right sound. Okay, after we know the problems that occur in the sounds of both consonant and vowel and how useful it is to learn phonetics to deal with the problems that occur, then we will move on the next material, namely the production of English consonant sounds, manner, and place of articulation. It concerns two questions. The first, place of articulation. Okay, my answer is place of articulation are the parts in the mouth that are responsible for pronouncing certain sounds. It refers to a specific location in the mouth where two speech organs work together to produce a consonant sound, e.g. the tongue and teeth come together to form the sound of teeth. There are six speech organs used to pronounce consonant, namely the lips, teeth, alveolus ridge, hard palate, and soft palate or velum, and four parts of the tongue, i.e. tip, blade, body, and root. In terms of place of articulation, American English consonant can be classified into 8 sounds. Chelsea, Marsha, Brinton, and Godwin 2000 and 1906. And are easy to remember with the acronym Bila Dapat Pavel Gla, in where B is bilabial, La is for labiodental, D is for dental, A is for alveolar, Pat is for palatal, Pa is for palatal alveolar, Vel is for velar, G is for glottal, and La is for labiovelar. One example is the bilabial sounds is P. A consonant sounds produced by joining two lips together as in the sounds B of the word by. Let's move for the next question. The question is manner of articulation. Explain in detail and give example. Well, my answer, the manner of articulation describes two things. For how the different speech organs interact with each other in producing consonant sound. Second, how abstract airflow affects the production of consonant sounds quality. Thus, the manner of articulation is determining factor that present the characteristic features of consonant in English because it is possible to make several different consonant sounds in the same place of articulation. Therefore, the manner of articulation provides a fundamental difference in how consonants sound and might through the same concept provide with the acronym SPANASLA, where STA stands for stop, FA stands for fricative, A stands for affricative, NAS stands for nasal, L stands for lateral, S stands for approximate. One example is stop of plosive. By means of this articulation, consonant sounds are produced by closing the speech organs, but the oral and nasal cavities so that airflow is blocked. As a result, air pressure occurs in the oral cavity. When the air pressure is released suddenly, aspiration will occur. One of the English consonant produced this articulation is P, as in the word pen, pen, P, pen. We move to the next material, namely the production of English consonant sound distinctive feature. It concerns four questions, namely, what is distinctive feature in consonant sounds? Explain as detailed as possible. Give example is necessary. How to identify distinctive feature? The distinctive feature as consonant pairs. Please explain as detailed as possible. Give example if necessary. And the last, consonant letters and their consonant sounds. Explain detail as possible. Give example if necessary. Regarding some of the question above, I will discussion them all of ones of that they can be easily understood, and so that they are not spared. Okay, let's discuss and answer the question. Okay, in order to understand what distinctive feature, it is important for us to know its definition, where a distinctive feature is defined as something unique or different that distinguishes someone or something from others. In English, several different consonant sounds are producing in the same place and manner of articulation, X sounds P and B. These sounds are both identified as bilabial and stop sound. To help the learners in distinguishing both sound, distinctive feature is then used, that is to identify the sound's distinction by knowing whether the vocal cords vibrate when the consonant sounds are made or voiced, or whether the vocal cords do not vibrate when the consonant sounds are uttered or voiceless. To test the voicing quality of the consonant sound, the learners might place their fingers on the voice box, i.e. the location of the Adam apple in the upper throat. This is done to know whether the vocal cords vibrate or not when a particular consonant sound is made. For example, you can look at the table. In the table, there are two types of information on the production of English consonant sound, i.e. place of articulation and manner of articulation. So let's look at the sounds of P and B. We can identify the two sounds as bilabial and stop sound. In distinguishing the sounds P and B, we can make a sound P while placing our fingers on the voice box so not feel the vibration P, P. Therefore, the sound P is known as a voiceless, shown in terms of its distinctive feature to the sounds B, whereas the case of sound B, we can feel the vibration. Therefore, the sound B is then called as a voice sound. The next example is the sound sa and za, which can be identified as alveolar and fricative sound. In the sounds of sa, we cannot feel the vibration, while in the sound of za, we can feel the vibration. Therefore, the sound sa is known as a voiceless sound in terms of distinctive feature to the sound za, whereas in the case of sound za, we can feel the vibration. Therefore, the sound za is the called as a voice sounds. The characteristic of consonant pair is when it can be symmetrical between the place of articulation and the manner of articulation in producing a sound. The difference lies only in whether the sound's vibration are voiced or voiceless. After studying the types of English consonant sound from the perspective of place and manner of articulation, the learners then need to know how to use them to pronounce consonant letters in English words. This is important because in English, a consonant letter usually represents one consonant sound, but some consonant letters, for example, C, G, and sa, may represent two different consonant sounds. Well, I will give an example of consonant letters and their consonant sound. Consonant sounds in S or ES ending of nouns and verbs. As for many Indonesian learners of English, producing consonant sounds in S or ES ending of noun pluralization and verbs, the first singular subject in simple present, is somewhat problematic since they tend to produce sound sa for all S or ES ending but in nouns and verbs. While native speakers of English produce their types of consonant sound in S or ES ending of nouns and verbs, i.e. sa, za, and sound is. The example is sound S, sa, tapes, tapes. Okay, next, consonant sound in AD ending of verbs. In addition to the problem in producing consonant sound in S or ES endings, the Indonesian listener of the English also find it difficult to produce consonant sound in the A ending of verbs. They generally tend to produce sound ed as in the word stopped, stopped, This happened because a few learners know that native speaker of English has three types of consonant sound regarding the production of sounds ending verbs. They are sound t, sound d, and sound id. The example is sound t is stop, and the last is consonant combination or blended sound. In English, consonant sounds are not only produced when articulation single letter, but some are also produced by letters combination in English words, which result in both single consonant and combination of consonant sound. This method is also called a blended sound consonant cluster. That is, groups of 2 or 3 consonants in word that makes a different consonant sound, e.g. in the word school. In the word, we can see consonant letters combination that is sk. The letters combination is then pronounced as sk, sk. In the pronunciation of the word in which the word school is pronunciation as school, school, is pronunciation as school in English. Knowing how to produce consonant blends will be very helpful in improving the learner's pronunciation skill in English science. The ability of producing blend consonant sound correctly will be able to make the learner's pronunciation sound more natural. Now, we move to the last material, namely phonetic exercise for articulating English consonant sound. There are 3 questions, namely the first, why the student need phonetic exercise? Why? My opinion, because phonetic is very important to learn. A student who only learns an English language without any knowledge of phonetic will have problem when he or she wants to produce sounds in the form of pronunciation. Long letters will be shortened and letters that shall be short can be length. Therefore, it is very important for students to learn phonetics. So in learning it, we need a continuous practice so that we can produce the right sound. In reading the Quran, we must learn the correct pronunciation of the sound, because if the sound is wrong, maybe we will sin. So also in English, if the pronunciation is wrong, it will allow for the wrong meaning. That's why practice in studying the sounds of phonetic is also very important, so that we get used to pronouncing the correct and appropriate sound. Okay, let's move on the second question. The question is, what instruction the student needs to do when doing phonetics exercise? My answer is, knowing phonetic that theory is never enough for learners. They need to go further, namely practice theory, doing phonetic exercise to achieve 2 things. First, to overcome their difficulties in producing English sound, and second, to make their pronunciation accurate. Because of the purpose, phonetic material can be used by learners as a phonetic exercise to practice how to make consonant sound in frequently used short words. The exercises are ordered according to the type of consonant sound that was studied in the previous section. In order to practice the sound accurately, the learners need to do the following instruction. The first, focus on making the required consonant sounds. The second, think how to make the required consonant sound as instruct in the place of articulation and manner of articulation before making the sound. The third, produce the required sound slowly and accurate. And the last, when you get accustomed to making the sound accurately, then you can produce the sound fluently. Alright, the last question from the 5 material is the exercise of producing our English consonant sounds. Okay, after studying the instruction for making English consonant, which concern the place of articulation and articulation method and characteristic of English consonant sound, now I will practice the articulation of pronunciation of consonant in English based on the place and manner of articulation. According to the instruction is the phonetic exercise for articulation English consonant sounds. Okay, the first, voiceless bilabial stop sound p. The word pill, peace, present, public, pay, please, plenty, plain, plural, pretty, praise, practice. Next, voice labial stop sounds b, b. The example is pit, big, beauty, book, brain, broken, habit, bad, absent, number. Voiceless alveolar stop sound t, team, tip, tell, ten, task, tool, tune, city, taste, rose, look, stop, read, was. Next, voice alveolar stop sound d, deep, deal, dark, door, during, dirt, dull, day, die, down, outward, hurt. Voiceless velar stop sound k, kin, can, chemistry, clean, critical, credit, grace, crass, crazy, cry, accent, awkward. Next, voice velar stop sound g, give, gift, get, global, glow, green, struggle, single, anchor, hankry. Next, voiceless labiodental fricative sound fa. The example is feel, fit, finish, fast, far, for, floor, flash, flew, frog, fruit. Next, voice labiodental fricative sound v. The example is will, fifth, fat, very, variant, fast, fault, verb, 11, even, level. Voiceless dental fricative sounds ta. The example is theme, thief, theater, thin, thick, think, think, therapy, tree, thrifty, trap, true, true, trust. Next, voice dental fricative sound ta. The example is this, tan, tam, there, that, then, ether, matter, father, brother, later, southern. Next, voiceless alveolar fricative sound sa. The example is sim, sin, simple, city, sand, center, said, certain, sun, sleep, slope, smell, smile. Next, voice alveolar fricative sound z. The example is zebra, zero, zip, zigzag, music, reason, poison, present, dozen, busy, crazy. Next, voiceless palato-alveolar fricative sound s. The example see, ship, shear, chic, ship, shed, sure, champagne, short, push, publish, foolish. Next, voice palato-alveolar fricative sound z. The example usual, casual, visual, vision, explosion, erosion, measure, pleasure, treasure, ruse. Next, voiceless glottal fricative sound h. The example he, hit, her, him, history, help, her, hurt, hurt, her, hundred, behind, inhabit, inhale. Next, voiceless palatal affricative sound ch, ch. The example cheese, chip, cheer, chin, chick, chapter, charity, chart, character, kitchen, watching, teaching. Next, voiceless palatal affricative sound ja. The example jeans, jeep, gym, gin, gym, jet, general, journal, jazz, region, surgeon, agent, angel, danger, stranger. Voice bilabial nasal sounds The example me, min, mir, middle, min, man, must, matter, main, make, mine, smart, small, smooth, smack, smell, smoke. Voice alveolar nasal sound n. The example knit, knit, knee, never, nape, nasty, normal, snap, snake, snake, snail, sniper, finest, finish, internal, cadence, signature, lunge. The next, voice filler nasal sound ng. The example, sing, singer, singing, sang, sung, hanker, hung, long, sung, king, cooking, reading, finger, inger, angry, hunger. Voice alveolar lateral sound L. Lit, lip, live, let, less, like, less, lark, lord, like, let, lost, lose, look, look, learn, like, lady, blade. Voice palatal alveolar approximant sound ra. The example word is read, rip, real, rear, risk, red, rest, ra, wrong, roof, root, room, run, rust, rain, bring, careless, reference, tolerance, story. Voice labiovelar approximant sounds wa, we, wick, will, win, will, wet, west, water, want, would, one, once, way, with, while, why, white, sweet, swim, white. Voice palatal approximant sounds ya. The example is year, yield, yes, yellow, yet, yark, yon, york, young, million, billion, onion, yanyan, music, human. The conclusion from some of the discussion material that I have described earlier is that phonetics is the study of sound in language, namely how speech sounds are produced using the mouth, throat, nasal cavity, sinus, and lungs, and how we can hear and recognize different sounds with the symbol writing and defined by linguistic experts. So in studying phonetics, we need to know about the speech sound, what speech origin are used, and how this sound can be produced. After that, the problems faced by English learners regarding producing consonant sounds and vowel sound, and the benefit of studying phonetics are very influential for students because by studying phonetics, students will be able to produce the right sound. In phonetics, there is a place of articulation which discuss the parts of the mouth are responsible for uttering a particular sound, which is usually abbreviated as biladapat pavelgla, and manner of articulation, namely how the sound can be produced, which is usually abbreviated as tafanasla. Next, the distinctive feature of the English consonant sound. In order to understand what distinctive feature it is essential that we know its definition. Its distinctive feature is defined as something unique or different that sets someone or something apart from the rest. In English, some different consonant sounds are produced in the same place and manner of articulation. AG sounds P and P. These sounds are both identified as bilabial and stop sound. To help the learner in distinguishing both sounds, the distinctive feature is then used, that is, to identify the sound distinction by knowing whether the vocal cord vibrates when the consonant sounds are made voiced, or whether the vocal cords do not vibrate when the consonant sounds are uttered voiceless. To test the voicing quality of the consonant sound, the learners may place their fingers on the voice box, i.e. the location of the Adam's apple in the upper throat. After studying the types of English consonant sound from the perspective of place and manner of articulation, the learners then need to know how to use them to pronounce consonant letters in English words. This is important because in English, a consonant letters usually represent one consonant sound, but some consonant letters, for example, C, G, S, might represent two different consonant sound, and it's divided into three, namely consonant sound in S or ES ending in nouns and verbs, consonant sound in ED ending in verbs, and consonant combination. Knowing the theory of phonetics is never enough. For the learners, they need to go a step further, that is to practice the theory. doing phonetic exercise. In order to active two things, i.e. the first, overcoming their difficulties in producing English sound, and the second, making their pronunciation accurate. Due to the purpose, this material can be used by the learners as phonetic exercise for practicing how to make consonant sound in short, frequently used words. The exercises are sequenced according to the types of consonant sound which have already learned in the previous section. In order to practice the sound accurate, the learners need to do the following instruction. The first, focus on making the required consonant sound. The second, think how to make the required consonant sound as interest in the place of articulation and manner of articulation before making the sound. Uh, the third, produce the record sound slowly and accurately, and the last, when you get a attachment to making the sound accurate, then you can produce the sound fluently. I hope that in the future a teacher or educator can teach English well in accordance with the growing knowledge and use the right method, namely having knowledge of linguistics, which includes phonetics. A teacher who has good knowledge of phonetics will be able to teach proper articulation and pronunciation of how a sound in English is produced, and to the student, I hope that lets us be serious in studying a science that can bring a good benefit to us by starting with the intention of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I would like to thank my parents who have supported me in continuing my education and completing all my assignments, because without their prayers I may not have been able to do my best. A big thank you to the lecturer in Phonetics and Phonology, Sir Dr. Andi Kaharuddin S.IP M.Hum, for all the guidance and knowledge taught. And thank you, Sir, for the book that you have made to make it easier for us to learn phonetics. For the book for us students of English education is very helpful and brings very good benefits. Thank you to my family and friends for the support, and thank you to those who had time to watch this video. I hope this video can be useful. I think that's enough for me. More or less, please forgive me. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.